Hello, everybody. It's Stephen here for the Idiot Quilter, and welcome to my weekly episode. This is episode number 275 for August the 27th, 2024, and summer is almost over. Doesn't end until September 21st, but kids go back to school in our area after this weekend coming up, and once they're back to school, it's fall. So let's take a look at what I've been working on so we don't have to dwell too long upon the end of summer. And this is Pumpkin Patch by Stephanie of Stephanie Stitches. It's her pattern, and I think it turned out quite nice. I used gnome fabrics, and it may be difficult in this picture to see, but if you look very closely at the prints, most of them are gnomes. And I've been saving these for something special, and this was the special project for that. Now, I'm going to tell you a little something about the quilting on this. Ran into a little problem with Lucy. I'm not sure if it was Lucy's fault or mine. Probably mine because, Lucy never makes mistakes. It's always me. She tells me that all the time. But I had a little problem with the spider web design in terms of spacing. For some reason, I skipped a step and I had to manually place my pattern. And I think I did it pretty well. It isn't perfect, but it's really not that noticeable. It wasn't that major of a mistake. So I'm happy with the way this turned out. It is not a huge quilt. It's just a nice little lap kind of thing, or it could be a wall hanging. And I intend to use it as a decoration come the fall. Probably around the 1st of October, I'll start putting out my decorations for Halloween and for fall as well, and this will be one of them. It'll probably drape over the over a couch or something like that in my one of my living rooms. So I have more than one living room. I never know what to call it because it sounds pretentious. I have a living room, dining room, and the living room part of the dining room is a little more formal, meaning that we never use it. We use the dining room part, not frequently anymore like we used to. And we have a family room attached to our kitchen as well, sort of an open concept. So that's the family room, and then the living room is the formal living room, and that's probably where this quilt will go. Just as a side note, we use the formal living room so infrequently that the furniture we have in there we bought when we first bought this house, and that's almost 30 years old, and it's still in excellent shape. And we're kind of tired, excuse me, of the color scheme and pattern in it. We probably need to update that room at some point in time. But the 90s are calling. They want their furniture back. But anyways, you can hide the furniture with quilts, Hey, how to update quickly? Pull out some quilts, throw them on the furniture. Yeah. Okay, I digress. Let's move on. Okay, I finished this. This is the Christmas Bokeh, I think it is Bokeh. Anyways, why can't they call things just names I can pronounce? I don't get it. Anyways, now that I've stumbled my way through it, this is not a huge table runner. In fact, I'd almost call it more of a table topper. And I did think about extending it, except the problem here is the only way to extend it, because of the way the pattern breaks between each panel, would be you'd have to just duplicate it in its entirety again and attach it together before you put on the borders. And that would double the length of it, and that would be fine. But I don't think I'm going to bother. But it is very nice. It is Christmassy. However, because I use Christmassy fabrics in it, however, it would work. I think it would work almost any time of the year. If you didn't look at the pattern of the fabrics too closely, or even just for the winter. Either way, will I ever use this? Probably not. I've got it in my pile as a potential gift for somebody. I don't know. I don't really know how many table runners my sister really wants. And she probably wouldn't want one this short. So anyways, Yeah, now there is a little mistake in this. I don't know if you can find it or not. Walter didn't find it. So there you go. And you know what? Like, he's a Hawkeye. But if you look at the second tree from the left, I made a little goof up on my fabrics. On this piece, this is the joining piece here. It should have been this dark green. Should have been in this strip, not this poinsettia print, which is on the inside. And that's why it extends down a little further. But you want to know something? I don't think it really takes away from the table runner, and yeah, I'm not going to fix it because I can't. So yeah, note to self if I ever do this one again. Now this is a pattern, I think it's the designs by Juju, and this is a pattern that I think if you could use it all year round, if depending on what fabrics you use. So if you want something more fallish, I would use more fall colors in it. If you want something more springy, more spring colors. So I think it has a lot of versatility. And a lot of the table runners, even though they show them as seasonal a lot of times, if you think a little bit outside of the box and think about, you know, the design and what it would look like in different colorways, then, you know, you could get more than one season or one theme out of a pattern. And this is, the top is finished. I have not put it on Lucy yet. Got to iron out some of the wrinkles in it. But this turned out great. This is a Tracy Perks pattern. And Stephanie and I did it as a sew along on Saturday, if you caught that. And it goes together really, really fast. I had most of the rows sewn together, not to each other, but across, before we were finished with the sew along on Saturday. And yes, I did it in Christmas fabrics because, yeah, why not? But I think this is one of those kind of patterns, again, like I said, it's very versatile. If you want to make it fallish, use some fall colors. You know, whatever you have your desire. And I did originally think, it didn't call for it in the pattern, but I thought, well, I'd added a border. But I don't think I'm going to now. I think it's just nice just as it is, and no borders on quilts is a thing right now. It's very trendy. Personally for me, I think a quilt in most cases looks unfinished without a border, although this one, when I put the binding on it, I'm doing the binding in the green fabric that you see in the pattern. And I think that it in itself, that with the binding on it, will serve as a border. So that's what I'm going to do with this one. I haven't decided how I'm going to quilt it yet. I thought I'd get it quilted yesterday, but my plans changed because, well, I'll tell you a little bit about this. I don't think I have anything else up here to show you. No, I don't. So let's talk a little bit about why I didn't get that onto Lucy yesterday. Plus, I still have that Halloween monster, the Happy Halloween quilt with the appliqued monsters on it that I got to get on Lucy to do a little bit of quilting. There's quilting built into that one already, but I want to add a little bit more. So I got out into Lucy room, and you know I've been talking about redoing her, cleaning it up for one thing. A lot of stuff out there I needed to get rid of. Well, I started the process yesterday, and I forgot to take some before and after pictures. I'm not done yet, so I might make a little video today about what I'm doing as I'm cleaning it up and that kind of thing, and post it maybe next week on my vlog here. But just to say that I got rid of a lot of stuff, reorganized things. My original plan is to buy some Alex units to put under Lucy. I'm not so sure I'm going to do that right now because of the way I set things up. I'm not finished. I'm going back out there today and I'm going to tackle the big shelving unit that's in there that is filled with all of my art supplies that I used to use. Most of them are probably dried up. It's all my different matte mediums and fluids and paints and stuff like that. Any of the paints that are still in good shape, and I have some paints out there that have never been opened, so as long as they're not dried up, I'm going to put them in a box. I'm going to call up the local elementary school here and see if they would like these as a donation to their art program. A few years ago when I cleaned up the room I'm in right now, this was my craft room, it's now my sewing room, I got rid of a ton of scrapbooking papers, pads and pads of scrapbooking papers that had never had the seal broken on them. I think I had about 4 boxes of them. And I called up the elementary school and said, hey, I've got all these 12 by 12 scrapbook papers that have never been used, have not seen the light of day. If you're interested for your art program. And they said, sure, brought them over. And the funny thing was, the 2 secretaries were both scrapbookers, and they're looking and they're going, we're not giving these to the teachers until we've gone through them. And I said, that's perfectly all right with me. There's tons of stuff here. I just want them to go to a good home, to whoever's going to get, use out of them. That is why I'm donating them. So yeah, they seem to be really happy. I hope they'll be happy about the paints too. We'll see. But that's the plan for today. But as I said, I think I'll do a little video about it when I get things straightened around and whatnot, and talk about the improvements in the Lucy room. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, let's move on here, shall we? Sewing with Stephanie and Stephen on Wednesdays, as always. Tomorrow is Wednesday at the time of filming this. And yeah, we start at about 9 a.m. We end around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. This is Eastern time. All are welcome. It is a Zoom. It is not a YouTube live. Link is in the show notes below. And as I said, come and go as you please. All are welcome. Okay. Pop-up Sew Day. Yes, we're having another one. It seems like I've had quite a few in August, doesn't it? And I think I have. This will be, is this number 2 or number 3? In August. This might be the 3rd one I've had in August. No, it's only the 2nd one. I don't remember. But then again, that's not unusual. I don't remember my name on a good day. So, Pop-up Sew Day this Saturday, August the 31st. Yes, it is the Labor Day weekend. So you may have other plans, but if you don't, and you're sitting around twiddling your thumbs, why not come and sit around twiddle your thumbs with us here on the Pop-up Sew Day? Link is in the show notes. It is a Zoom. Again, it is not a YouTube live. And if you're new, you are most welcome to be here. You will find the group very friendly, very supportive, a lot of fun, and it gives you an opportunity to catch up on whatever you need to catch up on. Whether that is a quilt project, a bag project, a sewing project, or just plain ordinary, let's reorganize the underwear drawer, shall we? Yeah. So, hope to see many of you on the pop-up this coming Saturday. All right. Now, I have some gadgets I want to talk about. There are 3 gadgets in my sewing room I cannot live without, and they don't have anything to do with actually sewing or quilting. They have everything to do with keeping your sewing room neat and tidy. Now, my first gadget that I absolutely love is no longer available. All of these gadgets I have bought on Amazon.ca, and they're all available on Amazon.com for the Americans out there. But I've had many people ask me about this, and somebody wrote a comment the other day that they could not find this air duster that I bought. So I looked for it as well, but found that they don't seem to be advertising it anymore on Amazon, but they have a whole ton of other ones in various price ranges. Now, I think I paid about $30, maybe $40 for the one that I have. And the one that I have looks very much like, let's see here. Very much like this one. And it has a coupon off for make it for $38. But there's various ones here. Now, what do I use these for? I use these for blowing out lint and dust in my sewing machines. It works like a charm. It's like using canned air, but you don't have the problem with canned air of the moisture that's in canned air, the repellent that's in it. I guess the repellent is not a repellent. It's a, you know what I mean, the stuff that makes it blow in there. And that's damp. And that can cause killer dust bunnies in your gears and everything inside your sewing machine. Whereas this is dry air. It's rechargeable, usually by USB plug. And I absolutely love mine. It has 3 speed settings, or power settings, I guess. And I've had it now for about a year, maybe longer, and it works like a charm. Unfortunately, it is not available, but it's like I said, it's very much like any one of these. Um, Now, these ones, some of these come with more attachments than mine did. Um, and some of them might actually also suck. What I mean, vacuum. That's the more expensive ones, I think, have the vacuum features to it. Yeah, like this one. It's an air blower, it's a vacuum. Yeah, but you pay for that. Um, and as far as a vacuum is concerned, in my personal opinion, you don't need the vacuum part of it because even with the smaller head attachments, those are usually still too big to get down into your machine. Whereas the blower, you can, it'll get around into everything. So, yeah, that is one of the tools I can't live without. Another one, which is also a vacuum, but I love this little vacuum, is by Worx. Now, there are 2 versions of this, and you'll notice there are 2 prices here. This is a little pricier item, but well worth the money. First of all, it is extremely light. It is small and compact. You get 2 attachments with it, as you can see. I use the crevice tool the most, and it all folds up into a nice compact little you see, I guess they're showing you how you dump it. Very easy to clean out. It has a filter in it. If the filter gets to the point where you want to really clean it, you can run it under a tap and let it air dry. They're showing it great for car. Yeah, it's great for any small space. And if you just want to vacuum around your sewing area a little bit, you get threads and stuff on your mat, on your cutting mat, on your pressing area. There's all kinds of little nooks and crannies, I'm sure, in your sewing room where you can't get a full-size vacuum in there, but this will fit the purpose for that. Now, the reason there are 2 prices here is this one comes with the battery. It is rechargeable, and it comes with the charger. This one assumes that you already own some of these Worx products because they're like those tools that all use, the same battery. They're interchangeable. And yeah, so if you have something by Worx already, then you can get the one that's less expensive because it doesn't come with the battery and a battery charger. But I bought the one that's $150 Canadian for it. I love it. I absolutely love it. I use it all the time. It is so convenient. And a charge on the battery lasts a very long time. I couldn't tell exactly how long it lasts because I've only recharged it once, and I probably didn't even need to recharge it at that point. So yeah, this one is worth the price. Okay, the other little tool that I absolutely positively love, and this comes in various shapes and sizes and types. I mean, I've seen one that some people have that looks like a cat, if you're into cute. But it's a vacuum. Handheld, you just run it. It has little bristles on the bottom of it. Let's see if I can find a picture. See the little bristles on the bottom? It has a little filter in it. And believe me, it does a really good job at picking up little pieces of thread and dust and little teeny pieces of fabric. Easy to clean out. They show it here. It just pops open, and it's rechargeable by USB, and it lasts. The charge lasts a long time. Oh, sorry. This one, they do have 2 models. This one is with batteries. The one I have isn't with batteries. It is USB rechargeable. Oh, you can get it in pink. There you go. If you want it in pink, you can get it in pink. A little more expensive for the color. And the white USB chargeable is a little bit more expensive too. It's a couple of bucks more. It's up to you which you prefer, whether you want battery or whether you want rechargeable. I think I got battery. I did. I got battery powered on the one I have. I'd go and pick it up and look at it, but it's out of my hands reach here, out of hands reach. So yeah, why would I get battery over that? I just find it's a pain in the butt. Everything is rechargeable by USB these days, so you basically need a bloody USB tower to plug all your shit into, you know? Pardon my language. So I always have batteries because I go to Costco and stock up. So yeah, mine's battery powered. Okay. So, oh yeah, there you go. It shows when I last bought it. I bought it in February. Oh, I bought it this year, February. It's not been a year yet. And yes, I bought the one with the 2 AA batteries. Yeah. Okay. So, hit the right button. So those are my favorite 3 gadgets I can't live without in my sewing room, and I have put links to all 3 of them in the show notes below if you're interested in them. Okay, moving right along. What's next? Subscribers Quilt of the Week. And this comes from our friend Iser King, who's out in Las Vegas, and she does some really beautiful quilts. They're very art quilt-like. Well, I guess they are art quilts, period. Not like, they are. So here is her latest creation. This week's Quilt of the Week comes from Iser King, who lives out in Las Vegas, Nevada. And she sends this wonderful miniature quilt. And she says, this is a miniature Jacob's ladder done in repro Civil War fabrics, approximately 19 inches by 15 inches in size. It is part of an Underground Railroad quilt project of 2017. Well, this is fantastic. And the size of it means she's working with itty-bitty little pieces. And I admire anybody who can work with itty-bitty little pieces, because I can't. But I love this one. It is very, very colorful, and yet you can definitely see the reproduction Civil War fabrics and how Iser has used these to show off the basic design of a Jacob's ladder. It has a level of elegance to it as well, I think. And she just did simple line quilting for this, which I think is a good choice because it doesn't overshadow the fabrics that she used in this particular miniature. So this has really inspired me to maybe give my hand, even though I hate itty-bitty little pieces, to make a miniature quilt at some point in time. Thank you, Iser, for sharing that with us. Now that takes us to the YouTube video of the week, and this is called Joanne Banko Shows a Quick Quilt As You Go Serger Technique on PBS. And you know, recently I've made a quilt on my serger with mixed results. And here is another one. Now this is, if you're a fan of Quilt As You Go, I could see this one being something you might enjoy doing. I am not a fan of Quilt As You Go. On the other hand, though, what she shows in this video, well, it's a fast way to do a quilt. If you really need a, you need a baby quilt or something like that real fast as a gift, this might be the way to go. So here's my review of that video clip. This week's YouTube video clip is one that has to do with making a quilt on a serger. Now, you know that lately I have been obsessed with doing a quilt on a serger and how I feel that really, no, it's just a way to sell sergers. However, in this video by Joanne Banko, and it's entitled Joanne Banko Shows a Quick Quilt As You Go Serger Technique on PBS. It's So Easy TV show 1712. Quite a mouthful there. She shows you how to do a quilt as you go kind of technique. And this one I think might be very doable and might be okay if you were doing a baby quilt or you needed a very quick gift, a very simple quilt. She makes it look so very easy. No pun intended on the title of the video. And you know, it does work the way she's showing it, so I think you could possibly do it. But again, this is for something that's very simple, something that is based upon just doing strips of fabric. So yeah, if you need something quick, if you need something small, then I think you could do this. And I think you could use the same technique to make placemats as well, which maybe down the road I'll give that a go. Because, you know, placemats are kind of fun and they're a great way to use up your scrap strips of fabric too. So if you're interested in this, check out Joanne Banko shows a quick quilt as you go serger technique. Okay, so this is the part where I usually have a future project, but guess what? The future has caught up to me, and I'm going to show you the pattern of about the Christmas bouquet runner by, and think I said earlier it was designs by Juju. It is not. It is a Sweet Pea design. And if you're interested in, if you have an embroidery machine and you're interested in this pattern, well, here's what you need to know. This week's future project is one that's meant for Christmas, although I think you could use this for any time of the year, depending on your choice of fabric. And it's called the Christmas Bokeh. I'm not sure how to say that word. Runner. And it looks very, very modern. As you can see, it's by Sweet Pea Machine Embroidery, and it is an in the hoop applique project. And you know how much I really enjoy doing in the hoop applique projects. This one I think is a lot of fun when you look at it. And those little circles and dots that are in the background are all embroidered onto the quilt. That is not on the fabric. So you don't have to pick special fabric for this to get this effect. They do have other pictures here showing you what it looks like close up. And I think the way they have designed this one, it's very bright and beautiful. So I think you could experiment here with some of the fabrics and colors that you might not use so much in a quilt and you're not sure what to do with them. I think this just makes it kind of fun. And it's something a little different if you're going to use it for Christmas, because at least in this color selection, it is not traditional Christmas colors. Now here is a different colorway. This one, cooler colors, which suggests something more for winter time. And this one, more springy, more summery, possibly. So this is what I mean. Out of one design, you could get several different looks depending on the type of fabric you've picked. It is not terribly expensive. I think I bought it when they had a sale going on, but currently, at the time of recording, they say it's about $18.47 Canadian. And it has several different sizes, as you can see in the description. So yeah, this is a project I want to get on with very, very soon. And yeah, if you're interested in purchasing this particular pattern as well, and I am not affiliated with Sweet Pea at all, yeah, I have a link for it in the show notes below. So that takes us to the online quilt store of the week, Canadian, of course. I only do Canadian ones, sorry, to all my American subscribers. When I run out of Canadian stores, maybe I'll start American. But right now, the one I'm doing today is called Nesting Ground. This week's online quilt store was one that was suggested to me by one of my subscribers and is located in the Niagara area of Ontario, in rural Niagara, and it is called Nesting Ground. So let's take a look, shall we? This is their front page. It looks to me like they sell upholstery fabrics, and I did do some reading about their background, and they were in the upholstery business for a while, and they may still be, but they do have a variety of fabrics. They don't just have quilting cotton, but let's look through here. They do cater to the garment sewing community as well as to quilters. And they have classes as well, some testimonials from people that have shopped there. And they have a variety of sewing notions and threads. And they've got a cute cat right there on the ironing board. So let's check out first of all their fabrics. And so they do have Art Gallery fabrics, Cloud 9, Dear Stella, Liberty, Merchant and Mills, Robert Kaufman, Fat Quarters, pre-cut fabric bundles, end of the roll, batting, interfacing and stabilizers, cross-stitch cloth, and pre-order fabric. So they've got quite a variety, although it looks to me like you're going to have to look for things according to manufacturer, which Doesn't always work for me, but art gallery fabrics are very nice fabrics. So let's check the selection out. They sell the fabrics by half a meter, and $6 for half meter. That's $12 a meter. That's pretty good for art gallery fabrics. So let's see what they have for selection. Well, they have some things that are a little bit unusual. Not to everybody's taste, I'm sure, but actually very, very interesting. They don't have a lot, but what they have is something a little bit on the unusual side. Let's take a look at their Cloud 9 fabrics. Now these are more expensive. They're $11.95 for half a meter, so that's $23 a meter. That's on the upper end of the scale. But again, not a big selection, but some interesting things. Dear Stella, only one, $9 Canadian. So it depends on the manufacturer, what the price is going to be. So that's like $18. Now, Liberty Fabrics has a little pull down here. Woodland Christmas, Flower Show Midsummer. Let's check out the Christmas. That's not particularly bad, about $14 a meter for Liberty. That's a pretty good price for Liberty Fabrics. Maybe I should order some of these just to try it out, because I've always wanted to try out Liberty Fabrics, but you know, their price is prohibitive in many cases. Now they have some 24 pieces of layer cake, $36. It's a little pricey for only 24 pieces. A 5-inch square bundle. They don't say how many is in that for $20. Let's see if it tells us here. 24 pieces. Well, that's not terrible in price-wise. Okay, let's Robert Kaufman. And again, they have it by their lines. Essex line linen solids. This is linen. So $10.95 for half a meter. So that's more, you know, garment sewing, I would think. What else do they have in the Robert Kaufman? Well, they've got Kona. And they only have one. $6.95 for half a meter, so $14 for a meter, but it's sold out. Okay. Let's move down. Let's go into fat quarters and see what we've got here. $4.95 for a fat quarter. That's about the going price for a fat quarter. And yeah, not some interesting things again. They seem to be catering to a very specific group of quilters or sewers, ones who want something that stands out, that's a little bit different. Pre-cut fabric bundles. And again, by designer. 12-pack art gallery. Yeah, they're not particularly cheap, but they are the higher end fabrics, like Liberty and art gallery. And let's go to end of the roll. No products found. Okay. Batting. Quilter's Dream Select Cotton Batting, 92 inches wide, natural for half meter, $12.95, so $26. That's expensive. Batting, and that's all you have to choose from. So they're really not into batting. And of course, they have interfacing and stabilizers, cross-stitch cloth, pre-order fabric. And that's what they have. Okay, so basically their fabric choices are very limited, but they're somewhat unique. They do sell yarn. They have kits. embroidery kits, natural dye kits, pre-printed sashiko linen kits, and string art kits. Okay, not the kind of kits I was expecting. Patterns and books, grain line studio, assembly line, noodlehead, quilting patterns. Let's go to quilting patterns. Yeah, nothing to write home about. I do like the star one, but I could get that anywhere. And this one, and this is an Elizabeth Hartman quilt. Okay. So yeah, not much of a selection there. Greeting cards and gift certificates. Let's check out their classes and workshops. Learn to sew, skill building sewing workshop, adults, quilting. Let's check out their quilting classes. No quilting classes. Okay, learn to sew kids, learn to sew adults, $145. Those have passed by, and it looks like they were begins Wednesday, May the 15th, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. 3-hour classes begins, so I don't know how many classes are involved. Does it tell us more? This workshop is three-hour sessions, so 9 hours, $145. I guess I have nothing to compare that to, so I don't think that's probably an unreasonable amount in a class, but really they don't have any quilting. They do have an upholstery workshops. That might be something. As I said, they do have their roots in that. Handcraft workshops. Nothing there. Okay, just for the sake of it, for those of you that also knit, merino worsted. Yeah, I have no idea if that's a good price or if that's the going price on that. And again, not a lot of selection in yarns either. But I'm not a knitter. That's pretty. Okay, notions. Cutting tools, marking tools. Yeah, all the usual kind of said. Now, did they sell thread? Threads and floss. Okay. They sell Metler. Oh, they have Aurifil. Okay, what are they charging for Aurifil? $17. That's about the going price here in Canada for Aurifil. But they had Metler as well. Let's just go back. Oops, nope, didn't want to go back that far. That's silk finish. They have sashiko threads. Well, I'm not sure. Metler, I'm not sure if that's the kind of stuff you'd use for. Well, there's cotton thread, $4 for 150 meters. Metler is something that a lot of places don't handle in my area. Never really used it. And I think too, if you are a garment maker, you would probably know better than I do whether or not this is, a good price for thread, because I have a feeling that's what it's geared towards. And of course, they have greeting cards and gift certificates. Yeah, do people send out cards anymore? I don't know about that. So let's check out their shipping. Do they have something about shipping? Yes, they do. Canada Post. Flat rate, $25 for purchases up to $49, $28 for purchase up to $199, and if you have over $200 in Canada, it's free. In the United States, it's a flat rate shipping of $28 Canadian. Which, okay, that's not horrible. But the best thing, order $200 worth, you'll get a better deal. Okay, so that is the nesting ground. For me, they seem to be more geared towards upholstery and to garment sewing. But if you're looking for something very, very specific and something very, very different, this might be worth checking out. So that's the nesting ground. So that brings me to the end of this episode. Just a reminder about the pop-up sew day this coming Saturday, August the 31st. Hope to see many of you there. It should be a fun day. And of course, advance notice, I'm working on the retreat, the fall retreat. Idiot Quilter Fall Retreat, and the date for that is Saturday, October the 19th. All the details and how you register for it, and it is free, by the way, but you do need to register, will all be coming out in probably another week's time. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so I hope everybody has a great week. I hope to see some of you on Pop-Up Sew Day, and see you later. Bye for now.